Live from the Ball State News Center, this is NewsLink Indiana in high definition.
Good evening and welcome to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Tony Sandlaben.
And I'm Brittany Erman. Thanks for joining us. More than a week after vandals caused damage at the Delaware County Republican Party headquarters, leaders are still picking up the pieces. NewsLink's Indiana Michael Kuhn is live in the newsroom with more. Michael?
Chairperson Will Statham was still at the office last week when a large landscaping brick came flying through the front window. According to him, it will cost $1,200 to repair the two windows that were damaged. But this isn't the first time the property has been the target of vandalism. Statham says vandals have damaged the building in the last 3 presidential election cycles. He calls it an attack on the party as a whole. Though he says he wasn't really surprised by the act, it was still frustrating.
It's still America. We still have constitutional rights to have our opinion and exercise our free speech. How we choose to do ours might vary from the way you do yours, but respect each other's opinions, and this is lack of respect.
Statham says he is hoping that supporters will pitch in and donate money to help offset repair costs. Live in the newsroom, Michael Kuhn, NewsLink Indiana.
Well, Hillary Clinton is turning her attention back to Indiana, but not just for her own campaign. The Democratic presidential nominee is pushing $500,000 to Indiana to help her fellow Democratic candidates. The Clinton campaign acknowledged it will be difficult to win Indiana given the Hoosier State's history of voting Republican. The money will be spent on a number of outlets to encourage Democratic voters to turn out on Election Day. As it stands, Democratic gubernatorial candidate John Gregg leads GOP nominee Eric Holcomb by 11 points. Meanwhile, former Senator Evan Bayh is clinging to a 6-point lead over Republican candidate Todd Young in the Senate race. Speaking of the Senate race, the lone U.S. Senate debate for Indiana is taking place tomorrow night. It features both Evan Bayh and his opponent Todd Young. The debate starts at 7 and runs for about an hour. You can catch the debate on any of your local networks or online at the Indiana Debate Commission's live web stream. We'll have a full recap of the debate right here on NewsLink Indiana. Well, this year marks Indiana's 200th birthday. The state has been documenting this monumental occasion for many weeks. This weekend marked the end of the torch relay, and NewsLink Indiana's Esther Bauer has more.
In its 5-week journey, the torch traveled to every Indiana county. This weekend, the torch came home to our state's capital. For telecommunications professor Chris Fluke, his experience has been about more than recording history.
People would cry. Well, you know, when they received the torch, you'd see little kids that would like really be in tears celebrating with their parent or grandparent.
Fluke says his involvement with this project has been an unforgettable experience.
It's one of those things that happens once in a lifetime. So for me personally, but I think for the students as well, we aren't just recording history, we really are part of it.
Those who attended this closing celebration enjoyed homegrown musicians and heard remarks from Governor Mike Pence and members of the Bicentennial Board.
Well done. This is some Hoosier homecoming.
Leanne Eisinger was one of Fulton County's torchbearers. She says this was an incomparable experience that she hopes can be used to inspire future generations.
Hopefully this has set an example so that we can all come together in this troubled time, and that, you know, to be grateful for what we have, that it's such an honorable thing, and that another 200 years won't be that far off.
While the torch has reached its final destination, this bicentennial experience is sure to live on in Hoosiers' hearts for many years. In Indianapolis, Esther Bauer, NewsLink Indiana.
A documentary made by Ball State students on the entire celebration will be released on December 11th and can be viewed online. Now, I have to say, Tony, you know, initially I thought the temperatures were going to stay consistent, but one day I was in a sweater and now I'm in sandals.
Yeah, today was ridiculously hot. It was, here it is the middle of October. I was wearing shorts and short sleeve shirt. I mean, it was crazy out there. Kaylee Pluchel, what more can you tell us about this recent heat wave?
Well, we did almost hit a record today with high temperatures. As we take a look here at our current temperatures right now, Muncie's currently sitting at 76 degrees, Indianapolis at 75, Terre Haute at 77 degrees. Here at about 9 o'clock, definitely very, very warm for the month of October. Clear skies, though, across Indiana, not even any clouds, so definitely a beautiful night to get outside, maybe have a bonfire. Coming up, we're going to be talking about those above average temperatures and how long they're going to stay, when fall will be back in the forecast, and your next chance of rain. All that and more coming up.
Muncie schools have improved in an unlikely area.
And a Ball State professor tells us about her battle with cancer. All that and more when we return.
Heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
So I've come up with a family emergency plan.
Great. What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
How will we know what to do?
You won't.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
And me too. Thanks for this, sweetie.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
So, I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. One Ball State professor has now survived cancer twice. NewsLink Indiana's Tristan Schilling has more on the story.
A year ago, life was flipped upside down again for Ball State professor Peggy Fisher after she was diagnosed with cancer for the second time. Almost 14 years have passed since the last time she was diagnosed.
I was in shock. I wasn't scared. I wasn't angry. I wasn't worried about dying, none of that. Honestly, it was, I don't have time for this.
While she was going through therapy, she never let anything stop her from what she wanted to do. She took time to continue her charity event called Feed My Sheep, which fed about 1,000 people during Thanksgiving. She continued to teach at Ball State, and she ran her own business too.
I was already on overload, so I didn't add anything to my schedule. But I tried to maintain my schedule.
But going through all this wouldn't have been possible without her support system.
So he was home with me and took care of me like a queen.
Now Peggy's life is starting to return to normal after beating cancer last summer. She started to work out with her son to regain her strength and is able to resume her previous life again.
So yeah.
Fisher continues to teach at Ball State and encourages all women to get their annual mammogram and be aware of the signs and symptoms of breast cancer.
Delaware community schools are seeing an increase in student enrollment this fall. The rise defies the downward trend schools in East Central Indiana are seeing. Student enrollment is reported to the state twice a year. The state gives around $4,000 of funding per student. Delaware County community schools have lost more than 250 students in the past 10 years. This year, the school district gained 59 students. An official with the schools is remaining hopeful enrollment can continue to rise.
6 candidates for Muncie's school board will publicly debate at Northside Middle School. The candidates are competing for 3 open seats. A specific outline has not been set. However, the audience will be able to ask questions about issues affecting the community, deal with changing the teachers' contracts. Some feel the need to cut their benefits in order to cut down the deficit. The Muncie Teacher Association feels the teachers shouldn't be the only ones suffering from the deficit. Many other issues will be discussed tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock.
And an 8-year legal battle involving a Muncie pastor and a minor ended today. Pastor Matthew Kidd of the Freedom Point Apostolic Church was charged with sexual misconduct in 2009. According to Chief Deputy Prosecutor Judy Calhoun, the alleged victim no longer wished to testify. Calhoun said that the alleged victim repeatedly had to relive the alleged instances in preparation for the testimony. After careful discussion, the state decided they would not force the victim to testify. If convicted, Kidd would have served a standard 4-year sentence.
When we return, high temperatures and sunshine are in the forecast this week.
Find out if the fall weather is set to return. Your full forecast coming up next.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Well, welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. Brittany, I got to tell you, we talked about this earlier. You know, it seemed like we were finally hitting that fall weather. It's the middle of October, and all of a sudden you wake up today, it's like 90 degrees outside. I was wearing shorts, no jackets anywhere. I mean, it was sunshine and everything.
Right, and I think we can all say, I think we want to move into fall and look at those fall temperatures. So, Kaylee, can I bring out my cardigans again?
Well, you may not be able to bring out the cardigans for tomorrow, but we may see that coming up later this evening. Now, with current temperatures, we are seeing Kokomo at 75 degrees, Terre Haute at 77 degrees, Bloomington at 75 degrees. Now, again, we are seeing a cold front push through our area and into the next few days. This will be pushing into our area for the next few days and bringing those rain and showers, but currently we're not having those rain and showers. But as we take a look here at McKinley and Riverside, the past 14 hours, a beautiful day today. We did see highs up towards the 80s, which again is not normal for October, but we will start to see those fall temperatures move into our area later this evening and throughout the week. Current 76 degrees. Again, very, very warm for the month of October. We see a 24-hour temperature change, 9 degrees in Fort Wayne, 6 in Indianapolis, and 5 here in Muncie. So definitely way above average compared to yesterday as well. Tonight, expect a low of 68 degrees with partly cloudy skies. We do have an advisory out tonight. You see winds here southwest at 17 miles per hour. We could see gusts up to 30 miles per hour, so definitely be aware of that if you're heading out anywhere tonight. Now with our almanac, we're normally around a high of 64 degrees, so again, way above average, and we about hit our record high set back in 1963 of 82 degrees. Now we will be close to breaking the record tomorrow as well, so we'll see how that pans out. Tomorrow, expect a high of 80 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. Those winds still will be pretty high, around 14 miles per hour. Again, from the southwest, bringing those warmer temperatures. For your school bus forecasts, expect temperatures at 7 a.m. to be 71 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. Those kids will not need the jackets out the door. And when they head out from school, 77 degrees, warm and sunny skies. So definitely a great day for any outdoor activities you have planned with your kids. But again, I mentioned that cold front moving through, bringing those rain chances. We stop here Tuesday at 8 p.m. We see the clouds and rain showers across the southern part of Indiana, and those will start to move out, but we will start to see clouds move back in again for Wednesday and Thursday. Stopping here at 3 p.m. Again, more clouds and rain showers out here towards Cincinnati. These will be scattered, so you could expect them anywhere across the state. Moving forward into Thursday around 12 a.m. Again, majority of the southern Indiana covered in those rain showers, but those could creep up into our area for then. And then moving into Thursday as well, those rain showers are going to stick around. As we see here, Thursday at 4 p.m., expect those rain showers to stay for the majority of Thursday night and into possibly Friday morning. For your 7-day forecast, we are having higher temperatures again. Tuesday, a high of 80 degrees. Definitely not those fall temperatures you were looking for. But Wednesday, we see that 40% chance of rain, a high of 75 degrees. Those we do see that cold front start to push through our area, and we will start to see those colder temperatures on Thursday here, a high of only 63 degrees, back on average for the month of October, with that 90% chance of rain. So you may want to grab an umbrella as you head out the door for Thursday. Friday, we do see highs only in the mid-50s, but sunny skies, but those sunny skies won't stick around. We do have Ball State homecoming football on Saturday. Only temperatures in the mid-50s, but a 40% chance of rain. So definitely if you're heading out to that game, grab a jacket and an umbrella as you head out, but 60s back into the forecast for Sunday.
Right, and they don't seem like the best homecoming week temperatures.
I know, it seems like cold front always moves through when there's a Ball State football game.
Yeah, I was just saying, I've noticed every time there's a football game, rain comes along. It never fails. So
I know,
hopefully,
this past weekend was very nice. We wish we could have those temperatures this
well,
weekend.
I always tell you meteorologists, you control the weather, right? Every time you say it's going to rain, it rains. So,
I try my best, Tony.
Well, okay. Well, hopefully we can get it figured out. Thank you so much, Kaylee. Meanwhile, Peter, speaking of football, what do we got coming up in sports?
Guys, I'm about tired of the rain on game days. It was a record-breaking weekend for Ball State soccer this past weekend. We'll tell you about that on the other side of the break. And speaking of records, Ball State running back James Gilbert had another career day on Saturday. Details about the special season he is having next.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With a unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but things changed. Teaching didn't seem that cool anymore. so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Amazing things are happening in teaching, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Ball State football players weren't shy about calling Saturday's game against Buffalo a must-win. After dropping their first two conference games, the Cardinals needed to get back on track to bowl eligibility. Thanks to a big second-half effort from their sophomore running back, they were able to do just that. James Gilbert ran for a career-high 264 yards on 34 carries in Ball State's 31-21 win. It was the second-best single-game rushing performance in program history. Gilbert now ranks 4th in the country in rushing yards and in touchdowns for the season. He has rushed for 524 yards and 7 touchdowns, folks, in just his last 3 games. Earlier today, Gilbert's head coach spoke about the special year number 34 is having.
Anytime you're up there and you're ranking in the top 5 like that, that's quite an accomplishment. But James is a hungry guy. You know, he's one of those guys that, you know, he always has a smile on his face. He'll be ready to go back to work. You know, when we get on the practice field tomorrow to get ready for this game. So James understands that, you know, you're only as good as your last performance. And for him, obviously it was a great one, but he knows that it's a week-to-week game. You know, you got 7 more days till you play your next game. So you have to have a great week of practice every week.
Football back at home on Saturday against Akron. Meanwhile, it was a historic weekend for Ball State soccer on multiple fronts. After wins against Bowling Green and Toledo, Craig Roberts became the all-time winningest coach in program history. Nice shades there from Craig. The team also is now undefeated in its last 10 matches, which is a program record. The good times just keep coming for the Cardinals, who are well on their way to a second straight MAC championship.
Oh, it was great. You know, as we talked the other day on game day, was that it was you know, it's great to actually celebrate that win and get the record and obviously be able to do that with this team. This team's got a lot of character, a lot of great personalities, and you know, it's just a privilege to do that with this set of girls.
Soccer will look to stay undefeated in the MAC this weekend as they travel to Ohio, and then a big one on Kent State. To the volleyball court now, where today marked the last day of the regular season for high schools in the area. Sectionals begin tomorrow, and a couple of local teams got their final tune-up before their postseason play this evening. Daleville hosting Eastbrook tonight, and the students are excited with their fat heads in all. We'll pick things up first set. Xana Weber with the set to Jenna Schellenberger. That's a point for Daleville. A little bit later on, Lexi Leisure to Emily Kardetsky for the spike. How about that? Another point for Daleville. Eastbrook came back, though. Caitlin Butler with the soft hit. We call that a dump in volleyball. That's a point for Eastbrook. Daleville wins tonight. And they'll get Cowan in the first round of sectionals on Thursday. Speaking of Cowan, number 1A, number 6 Cowan taking on Union on the south side tonight. Pick things up first set. Union's Victoria Price denies Alexis Huff at the net. Give her a solo block on that one. Later, Michaela Brooks. She puts it where they ain't. That's an ace for the senior and a point for Cowan. Union played the Blackhawks tough tonight, but it was too much Cowan all night long. Gabby Harrington comes up with a nifty dump here for the Blackhawks. Cowan sweeps Union tonight, guys, and that sets up a really good first-round matchup in 1A sectionals between Cowan and Daleville, 2 top 10 teams on Thursday night.
Well, good to see some exciting high school postseason sports play going on, especially awesome news there about James Gilbert. That's some pretty cool stuff there for the Ball State football program.
He's had an unbelievable season. Great to see him break out the way he's been able to do this year.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Peter. Up next, find out Billy Bush's fate with NBC.
Also, did Amy Schumer go a little too far at her comedy show this weekend? We'll have the latest in entertainment news when we return.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to theshelterpetproject.org and meet if you are in a shelter near you. Harlow, oh, she's one great listener who loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to theshelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self. And I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. A crosswalk on a Muncie road has been painted to bring two communities together. NewsLink's Kelsey Anderson has more.
That's right, Brittany. The intersection here at Dixon University was revamped this weekend, and we talked to members of the Riverside Normal City Association to learn some more.
Kind of a creative way to brand neighborhoods, and so we have some funding that has been provided by a couple different entities.
Riverside Normal City takes up a big part of the Muncie area.
We run from essentially basically Bethel to Jackson, and then from McKinley over to Wheeling Avenue.
Eads explains the crosswalk is to bring the city together.
We really want the neighborhood and the students around campus to understand they are part of the neighborhood, they're part of something unique and specific.
Graduate assistant Derek Tulowitzki explains that the area is often misunderstood.
We are the surrounding area of Ball State, and so a lot of times the defining area is that's where the college students live. But it's actually not true. North Street has a lot of professors, as well as me. Like, I wasn't a student whenever I first lived in here. I was just a 20-something guy, and it seemed like the cool place to go.
A lot of thought went into the location of the crosswalk.
That's why we chose this particular location, because it's close to the village. This is sort of a transitional space between what you deem as the village and more the residential areas. And so we thought this space would be good to let students know, one, that this actually is a neighborhood.
Renters and homeowners often see each other in a bad light, and the Riverside Normal City Association is hoping this will mend the gap.
My time in Muncie been sort of a clash. They didn't really seem to get along with each other. You know, the rentals are more hop-in, I would argue, and homeowners are more want to be maybe in bed a little later. So if we were able to bridge those gaps by letting the students know that they're in a neighborhood and letting the homeowners know that, hey, we as a neighborhood also value these students.
Riverside Normal City Association plans to do regular maintenance on the crosswalks and also is planning on hosting a community painting party in the spring. In Muncie, Kelsey Anderson, NewsLink, Indiana.
You can learn more information about upcoming events on their Facebook page at Riverside Normal City Neighborhood Association. Now let's see what's happening in the world of entertainment. Sheila, what can you tell us?
NBC has officially fired Today Show host Billy Bush. Before an Access Hollywood interview in 2005, Bush was caught on tape having a suggestive conversation with Donald Trump. The tape reveals Bush laughing as Trump explains how his fame allows him to grope women other than his wife. Bush was suspended just 2 days after the tapes were released. He gave a statement saying he is embarrassed and ashamed of his actions, while Trump has continued to deny the allegations on the tape. Almost 200 people walked out of Amy Schumer's show in Tampa on Sunday after she made jokes about none other than Donald Trump. The comedian called Trump an orange, sexual assaulting, fake college starting monster. Schumer was met with loud booing about halfway through the show. She shifted from her usual raunchy topics to more topical matters, such as gun control and the upcoming election. Schumer issued a statement saying thank you to the 8,400 people who stayed and that she had nothing but love for Tampa. That's all for your entertainment news. Back to you at the desk.
All right, Kaylee, let's get one final look at weather.
Well, we're going to see those above average temperatures for tomorrow with a high of 80 degrees, but that cold front moves through and bringing those rain chances and cooler temperatures for the rest of the week and into the weekend.
All right, well, thank you so much. Well, that's it for tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to watch tomorrow night at 9 p.m. right here on Cardinal Vision.
And be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Have a good night.